And all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I'm Wilma Obuobi-Sakoman.
And I am Caleb Kuda.
Coming up, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission debunks claims of plans to halt payments of allowances of office holders in public universities from September.
I can promise you and promise the general public that we are going to elevate it to a level above us. An arbitration body will come in, sit in, give each of us the opportunity to bring our case forward. And I think that the issue is going to be resolved. There's no cause for alarm.
Still ahead, death toll in Northeast floods rises to 8.
2 persons were drowned in the EU and some districts in a community called Patenga, bringing the total to 8.
Also coming up, National Food Buffer Stock assures of settling outstanding 15% arrears of food suppliers for the year 2022.
But right after the picketing, government has released money for the arrears of the suppliers, and we have paid them 85% of how much we owe them for the year 2022. We don't owe suppliers any arrears.
And later, with just a few days to the NPP Special Delegates Congress, the 10 presidential hopefuls wrap up campaigns.
All the effort and energy and work being put in by the Vice President and his team is to win massively the 26th August election and even much more bigger margins for the 4th November election.
As a campaign manager, my job is to make sure that we are in the top 5.
We'll bring you a report on what the preparations are ahead of Saturday's poll. Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live across the country on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, this is Adwempa 100.7 in 7 FM in Takwa and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, Adwempa 99.9 FM in Carrier. In the Volta region, Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoe and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sogakope. In the northern region, this is Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East, this is Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. And in the Northeast region, this is Nobia FM 98.1 FM in Nalerigu.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission has denied claims of implementing a decision that will stop the payment of allowances of office holders in public universities from September this year. The Ghana Association of University Administrators making the allegation said the directive is in bad faith and unfair labor practice as it has the potential to cause adverse variations in the conditions of service of members who have been duly appointed to management positions. Speaking to Citi News about the development, Deputy Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapo, said several letters written to the university administrators for a meeting on said directive has not been honored.
We are not asking for the suspension of payment allowance. That is what I indicated, that we invited GAWA for them to come to the table and let's explain this to them. But just for the benefit of doubt, when it comes to the general public, you cannot be paying somebody an office holding allowance, but just by the virtue of the fact that the person is a non-administrative, non-academic staff. For instance, we have offices such as cold room, manager of cold room. We have offices such as small animal project. We have offices such as large animal project. We have offices such as snail project, photocopier room. So it's an array of issues that we are dealing with, and this conversation is not ending. It is going to be continuing. As I said, we've issued a letter to GAWA asking telling them that let's sit on the table, let's have a conversation, let's explain to you what the details are. They've turned it down, but that notwithstanding, there are avenues and channels of addressing these issues. I can promise you and promise the general public that we are going to elevate it to a level above us. An arbitration body will come in, sit in, give each of us the opportunity to bring our case forward. And I think that the issue is going to be resolved. There's no cause for alarm.
You had the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapor.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Seduchum, says beginning next year, significant reforms, including the introduction of courses in aerospace and aviation, will be inculcated in senior high school education. This initiative, according to the Minister, aims at nurturing students' creativity and providing Ghanaian students with valuable skills. Dr. Seduchum emphasizes that starting next year, general science students will no longer study integrated science and core mathematics as their elective subjects already encompass these areas comprehensively.
You don't have to do integrated science next year if you're doing science, because you truly don't need it. You see, the integrated science have biology, chemistry, and physics at a lower level. So if you're doing biology, you are already covering the content for integrated science biology, and you're covering the content for integrated science physics and integrated science chemistry. So why are you repeating? So we are wasting the time of the student. During our time, you know that if you did pure science, you didn't do general science. So that's what we are bringing back. So the moment we remove integrated science, we created a space where you can do all the admission. And then we also, when the students come, we assess them, all those doing science. A number of them are doing science, they are good in mathematics, right? So why do you have to waste their time with the core maths when you can take just the elective math and make sure they cover the core math content? So that means instead of core math and elective math, when you include the elective math, that frees them up to add another addition.
The Education Minister, Dr. Yao Seduchum, made these comments during a visit to Efiakobi Ampem Girls Senior High School in the Ashanti region, where he lauded the engineering club for constructing and successfully flying a model airplane, as well as inventing a functional rescue watercraft. In response to the students' achievements, the Minister of Education committed to transforming Efiakobi Ampem Girls Senior High School into a STEM school.
This is a great institution of great promise, named after the mother of Otunfo Setitu II. This is going to be transformed into a STEM school. They are doing some great things in the field of aviation and aerospace. They are actually the pioneers. Next year, there are about 12 other schools that will be offering aviation and aerospace. So in their case, it's not going to be a club, but it will be an academic program. They will take courses in addition to physics, chemistry, and advanced mathematics. So something that we've gotten an inspiration to do from this very institution. Today I came to see their new science labs. I also went to see the washroom that are being built across the campus. We are going to expand their dining hall. Beginning next month, construction will begin. We're also going to give the school a wonderful and bigger library. They are the first school to implement school-wide what is called DEAR, Drop Everything and Read program. So there are times set aside where students say read as a school. So we are going to get them a library so that they can do just that.
Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Seduchum, he also visited a Daba STEM Senior High School, which is slated to admit students next year.
The National Food Buffer Stock Company says it is making plans to settle the outstanding 15% arrears for suppliers made for 2022. This comes at a time the company has been struggling to settle debts owed over 200 food suppliers. The suppliers at a point picketed at the premises of the Buffer Stock Company in protest of the situation. Briefing journalists at the Meet Abreast engagement, the Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Wahab Hanan, said about 2.6 million cedis has so far been paid to suppliers between 2017 and 2022.
About 2.7 billion Ghana cedis, and like I indicated, these are payments of businesses done between us and our licensed suppliers, and originates from the year 2017, 2022. So out of that, how much we owe suppliers is what is currently happening in the system that has even resulted in the picketing. But right after the picketing, government has released money for the arrears of the suppliers, and we have paid them 85% of how much we owe them for the year 2022. We don't owe suppliers any arrears but 2022, and then what is happening currently, the suppliers that is ongoing now in 2023. So 2.7 billion has been paid so far, and what is left now to pay suppliers is less than 30 million Ghana cedis to clear the 2022 arrears. It's less than 30 million Ghana cedis.
You hear the Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Wahab Hanan.
The leadership of the aggrieved customers of defunct gold dealership company Men's Gold is cautioning members to tread cautiously in their bid to retrieve their funds from the firm. The admonitioning comes after Men's Gold withdrew an earlier directive asking customers to pay 650 cedis as verification charge. The spokesperson for the group, Fred Forson, believes that the company is using other means to shortchange them.
We believe that even though we claim we have withdrawn the 650, but when you read and look at the details of it, we still have some element of demanding money at one point or the other when you go through the verification process. So we believe that we are still in the business of collecting money from people, but we still advise our people not to fall for this. So this is still not clear. We have decided to pursue state institutions, i.e. the Parliament, the Presidency, and the Attorney General office. So we are not relying on them anymore. It is the responsibility of government to ensure that customers are safe. So we want to advise them that if you claim to have any money for payment, you should hand it over to the Attorney General, or you should inform the Attorney General so that they could be the best place or the best institution to ensure that customers are safe and not safe.
Fred Forson, spokesperson, aggrieved customers of defunct gold dealership company Men's Gold.
Government is expected to honor its matured coupon obligation for the month of August, amounting 2 billion cedis. This comes at a time when the economy is struggling, although the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta maintains that government has turned the corner. Economist and the Dean of Business School at the University of Cape Coast, Professor John Gachi, is skeptical government will be able to honor its coupons.
I do not think that the government will be able to raise 2 billion to pay unless government has other ways to honor this bond. But if we look at the posture of government up to today, I think it's going to be a Herculean task for government to make the 2 billion payment. Likely the government may default, and if that will happen, I believe government will have to come forward quickly to those bondholders to appeal to them for some time to be able to pay them all. So that's what government is supposed to do. Of course, we all understand that government finances is not what we expect it to be. And paying 2 billion today may be a miracle.
Economist Professor John Gachi is the Dean of Business School at the University of Cape Coast. However, the convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani Entry, has expressed optimism that government will honor the coupon due them before the close of business week.
Well, we are expecting one coupon. It's due today. We are expecting it, but we believe it is going to be paid. These days, government has started paying as and when these coupons are due. What we said we wanted to see is a return to normalcy, which means as soon as the coupon is due, pay. And from the July 10th up to last week, the coupons have been paid as and when they are due. we are hopeful that it will continue like that. And this week's coupon will also be paid within this.
You heard Dr. Edu Ananientri, who is the convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum.
Investigators are currently seeking to utilize data provided by telecommunication companies to access phone records, aiming to establish the involvement of 3 military officers and 3 civilians in an alleged attempt to rob a bullion van belonging to a mining company. The 6 accused individuals are facing charges of conspiracy to commit robbery and attempted robbery. As outlined in the charge sheet, the driver of Golden Team Mining Resources Limited, a mining company, is accused of conspiring with 5 others to carry out a robbery on a bullion van that transports gold from the company's location in Shidium, Alpha region to Kumasi. Subsequently, the driver was apprehended and further investigations led to the arrest of the other 5 individuals suspected to be part of the operation. Legal representative for Golden Team Mining Resources Limited spoke to journalists.
I indicated the last time the case was adjourned today, 21st of August 2023. So the case was called and the prosecution indicated to the court that they have filed motion ex parte to the telcos, asking them to make some provisions or disclosures involving the telephone numbers of the accused persons. So the court adjourned the said motion to 22nd August, that is tomorrow. But the substantive matter, that is a criminal matter involving W2 Francis Katamani and the 5 others, has been adjourned to 26th of September 2023.
Legal representative for Golden Team Mining Resources Limited, Evans Amankwa.
Now, the National Chief Imam, Osman Nuhu Shaributu, has emphasized the importance of a peaceful resolution in the ongoing coup in Niger. His suggestion comes as leaders of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, consider the possibility of intervening with military force. During a press conference, the National Chief Imam urged that the situation is resolved without the loss of life and damage to properties. He also called on African leaders to reflect on recent events in the sub-region and take measures to prevent further escalation.
Allah has indicated in the Holy Quran that Muslims or believers are but one brotherhood. So therefore, whenever there's any dispute, they must find a way to resolve it peacefully and amicably. I'm thankful to the Almighty Allah that since that incident took place, we have not lost any life, nor has there been any spill of blood. My appeal to those who are in charge of the affair is that they should take every measure to ensure that we are able to resolve the difference of the crisis without losing a single life nor dropping a single modicum of blood, so that we can sustain the peace. I'm also calling on all African nations that whenever such things happen, we must learn the lesson as it happens now, that we can resolve our differences without losing a life or without spilling a single.
You heard the National Chief Imam, Osman Nuhu Shaributu. Representatives of the Muslim community in Ghana also conveyed their disappointment in the failure of political leaders to facilitate productive dialogues. As a result, they have suggested that a Muslim delegation should engage directly with the junta in Niger. Alhaji Mohammed bin Sali addressed the press.
Ghana is one country that is known for peaceful coexistence religiously. How did it come about? What is the magic in it? So I'm simply trying to say, as an answer to your question, that if the politicians have failed, they should accept it and pass on the baton to the religious leaders to try their best. Recently, the junta spokespeople said they were not prepared to receive any delegation from ECOWAS. that was a political delegation because they felt the delegation did not, or the ECOWAS was not approaching the issue with justice and equity. But it is impossible for a Muslim delegation to want to go to Niger, and the people of Niger will say, no, we will not receive you. It is an impossibility. It should therefore tell us, simply, like I've said, without unnecessarily belaboring it, that the solution to it is, if the politicians have failed, they should roll up and hand over the baton to the religious leadership to try their best. And inshallah, we'll find a solution to the challenge.
Alhaji Mohammed bin Salih is a spokesperson for representatives of Muslim community in Ghana. Meanwhile, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has rejected the coup leader's pledge to reinstate civilian governance within 3 years. The coup leader's announcement came after discussions with mediators from ECOWAS in the capital city of Niamey. However, Abdel Fattah Musa, the director of ECOWAS Security and Peace, asserted that ECOWAS remains committed to ensuring the restoration of constitutional rule in Niger within the shortest time frame. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, death toll in Northeast floods rises to 8. We'll bring you details of that story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This Is Ghana Exhibition 2023. Citi TV and Citi FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate.
This is Ghana Exhibition is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, Novel Solutions, Pan-African Savings and Loans, and SMV Ghana.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now go to the Northeast region because the National Disaster Management Organization there has retrieved 2 more bodies from floodwaters following days of torrential rains. This brings the death toll to 8. The heavy rainfall has destroyed several houses and farmlands. In an interview with Citi News, the Northeast Regional Director of NADMO, Adam Al-Hassan, said 2 more persons who sustained injuries have been sent to the hospital.
2 persons were drowned in the Yun and some districts in a community called Patenga, bringing the total to 8. And then we have 2 injuries. Yeah, they are children, but their parents are farmers, and that is where they are coming from. Well, we are giving relief items to the affected victims, and then we are on it. And then we are also doing the assessment, and we are also on the ground. And like I indicated earlier, most of the areas are cut off. It is now that some of the water is now receiving, and then we are not getting access to those communities. And then we are doing the assessment. Even though it's not been easy, some of the donor partners too are also coming in to also support. Just this morning, the global communities, they came with some items. Yesterday, I received a call from West Africa Humanitarian Aid. We also brought some items around the West Mamposi municipality. We haven't done the distribution. So we are focused. We are doing the assessment, even though it's not easy, but nothing we do. We are just also appealing to the refugees to be patient and then cope up with government and NADMO so that we see what we can do to handle the situation.
That was the Northeast Regional Director of NADMO, Adam Al-Hassan.
One of the major hurdles towards the selection of a presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party is a week away, and the 10 aspirants campaigning to lead the NPP into the 2024 polls are wrapping up their campaigns. 961 delegates will on Saturday have the responsibility of reducing the number of aspirants to 5 for the November 4 elections. In the following report, City News' Hansen Ajuman engages some of the campaign teams of the aspirants on preparations ahead of Saturday's polls.
The 10 aspirants in the past weeks have been touring parts of the country, engaging delegates, party faithfuls, and interested stakeholders on their bid to lead the NPP into the 2024 polls. But before the main polls on November 4, they have to first be part of some 5 aspirants to be selected by a limited number of delegates. 961 of the delegates drawn across the country will on Saturday, August 26, take this decision. The polls are scheduled to take place at centralized locations in each of the 16 regions and another center at the national headquarters. 9 of the aspirants, excluding Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, previously opposed this, citing possible cases of intimidation. But with just a week to the polls, City News checks with the camps of the main contenders suggest that their concerns have been greatly addressed. The party recently, in a communique, released modalities including banning of the use of phones at the voting area and other measures to make it difficult to track the identity of a particular vote as means to prevent intimidation before and after the polls. For the campaign team of Alan Chematin, Dr. Efiye Akoto, and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, these will help in making the polls credible.
The team is satisfied with the quality of the regulations for the conduct of the Superdelegates Conference. In particular, the provisions that give a lot of room for comfort for voters. So now, voters should be happy. Voters should be happy in the knowledge that their vote is safe and private. Everybody who is going in to vote is protected by the provisions in that their names will not be called out. They will walk in as random. They will vote with complex serial numbers. And after the vote is counted, the box will be sealed and brought to Accra.
At this point, if you look at the guidelines, it has captured all the key elements, and key amongst them is secrecy of vote. Secrecy of vote. And this is why the police is going to search everybody to make sure that there's no cameras or phones to go and snap who you voted for and so on and so forth. And this is why there's going to be the structures that have been put in place to make sure that the EC secures these ballots and bring it to their head office. This is the reason why people are not going to be allowed to bring macho men and influencers on the day of election to the place where these elections are taking place.
I mean, the Vice President's position on this election process is to focus on his campaign and selling his message to the voters and delivering the modalities, organization, and guidelines around the elections to the party and its leadership. Except in a situation where he believes that whatever guideline is being put in place would disenfranchise or would not make the process fair and transparent or would prevent a voter from being able to cast his vote. But so long as there's a guideline that enhances the process, makes the process more transparent, more accountable, he doesn't have any problem with that. And he's been very focused and consistent on his campaign.
Campaign team of Kennedy Ohinye Japan also agree with the modalities, however say the last days of their campaign will be focused on educating the electorates on these modalities.
We are pretty much satisfied except that we have to let the delegates know that they're not going to face a roll call. Nobody can trail them. We are not going to have, we will have a lot of the things such as alphanumeric type of the voting sheet so that nobody will be able to just go ahead and do that. There will be no telephones that will go inside. We have solved some of their concerns or most of their concerns. Right. There will be no regional intimidation, regional chairman, constituency chairman, or national coming around.
According to the delegates list from the NPP, the Ashanti region is the region with the highest number of delegates, with 119 delegates, followed by the Eastern region with 81 delegates, and Greater Accra region with 55 delegates. The regions with the least of delegates are Ahafo, Savannah, Northeast, and Oti regions, with 30 delegates each. The team of Dr. Efiri Akoto, however, say they have some few unresolved issues with the album.
As far as we are concerned, there are still a few issues with the album, and we have raised the issues in the appropriate courts, and we are sure that it will be resolved in no time.
Are there any of the issues you may be willing to share with us?
No, these are not very wild issues. These have to do with the album, and therefore the right thing to do is to petition the elections committee, which we have done. And we've done several petitions. They responded positively to all of them, so we have no reason to doubt that they will not respond to this one.
As the campaign moves into the final days, the various aspirants are tightening their strategies. Kennedy Ohinye Japan's team, who have been to 13 regions so far, are looking at visiting the other 3 and re-engaging delegates across the country.
We are left with only about a few, which is 3 regions, Upper East, Northern, and Northeast. I mean, as of the time he came back from overseas, he has to deal with the issue of preparing himself for the super delegates. But of course, he's going to see them. He'll be traveling there to meet the relevant people who are going to vote for the super delegates. But we will continue our constituency tour immediately after, I think, the Monday we'll start the regions I've just mentioned to you.
Dr. Baumia's team, on the other hand, changed strategy from engaging all delegates to focusing on the super delegates.
So far, he's done 154 constituencies. 154 constituencies. And he did that in about 40 days across 5 regions: Greater Accra, Ashanti, Western, Central, and Eastern region. But that has been put on hold. The super delegates is in view now, is in focus now. And he has been doing that also since last Monday. He continues to engage the super delegates between now and the D-Day, which will be the election day on 26th of August.
Dr. Efiri Akoto's team says days leading to the polls will be focused on getting their house in order by preparing their agents.
You know, Monday is the last working week before the elections. There's a lot of preparatory work to be done, you know, to put in motion the structures for the campaign for the electoral process. You know that by the guidelines, we are supposed to provide agents, and also to the collation center in the ECR office, we have to get our agents there. There's a lot of mobilizations and work that have to happen the last week before the D-Day.
Ahead of the polls on Saturday, while some of the candidates are only seeking to be part of the first 5, others want to win massively.
Frankly, we don't even care about which position we are in. We don't be part of the 5. It just happens that by our rules, we have this situation where we have to go for a special delegates conference, and we are participating in that. But the important thing is that it says 5. So once we are within the 5, which by the grace of God and the belief delegates have the alarm process, and we will be, we will then take it off and take it into November 4th, where Alan will win massively and decisively.
The delegates across the nation are responding positively to the message that Dr. Osofo presents. If you look at it, he's a nationalistic person. He is not campaigning on the basis of religion. He is not campaigning on the basis of tribe. Honorable Dr. Osofo message cut across all religions, all tribes, and all parts of the country. It is expected that he tops across the region.
We are well prepared, and I think his message has been well received by a lot of the super delegates, and that we will be part of the 5, and that we have planned to go on campaigning immediately thereafter. No doubt about that.
Does he care which number he is in this 5?
If he cares, maybe, but I'm not concerned. As a campaign manager, my job is to make sure that we are in the top 5. But we will actually give a very good appearance and assurance to our actual delegates down there within the 200,000 that we are confident.
The Vice President has been using a two-pronged approach in his campaign. So in the past over 40 days, he's engaged the polling station executives who will be voting on November 4th. So that has been the Vice President setting his eyes on November 4th. But within the period, he's also been engaging the super delegates, which is the constituency chairman, the regional executives, members of parliament, national executive committee, and the others, who would also vote next week, Saturday, which is August 26th. The focus or the objective is to win both with a landslide victory. And so you can be rest assured that all the effort and energy and work being put in by the Vice President and his team is to win massively the 26th August election, and even much more bigger margins for the 4th November election.
Hansen Ajiman filed that report.
We'll stay a little while longer with the NPP because the Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adweju, Frank Anodompe, has denied ordering for the destruction of billboards and artworks belonging to one of the flag-bearer aspirants of the New Patriotic Party, Kennedy Ejapong, in his area. Some supporters of Kennedy Ejapong accused the legislator of defacing billboards and artworks of their contestants ahead of the party special delegates conference this weekend. The lawmaker says although he does not believe in the presidential aspirations of Kennedy Ejapong, he would not undertake such an act.
You hurriedly put allegation on an innocent man, and it turned out that Anodompe doesn't know anything about this so-called matter. So I feel very slighted. I feel a lot of pain, but I still have to manage this. This is an internal elections, and he's not an enemy, somebody I respect. I don't even do this to my political opponent, the NDC, who have their artwork all over in Nsawam. I don't go about pulling down their artwork. How much more will I go out to pull down an artwork of my colleague member of parliament? It's quite strange. And this is not the first time they are hurling these allegations at me. I want to use your medium to appeal to our colleague. I don't have anything personal against him. In this contest, people have taken positions. And I'm a human being. I have also taken a position. I feel proud about the person I support. And if I have to suffer these allegations and persecution because of my support for the Vice President, I find it very strange.
Frank Anodompe also tipped the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to be massively endorsed in the upcoming Special Delegates Conference.
The attacks, supposed attacks, is normal. Apart from the lies, I don't find it too bad to deal with. It's expected. It's expected. If you look at our tradition, maybe zeroing in on what happened at Sunyani in 1998 and all the things that some of the contestants have said. It's normal. Saturday is looking good. It's looking very good, unless you are pushing me. There's not going to be any surprise. It's an emphatic endorsement for the most popular candidate, and it's the Vice President. He's going to win hands down. There's no doubt about it. If it is just a pruning down of the numbers, the contestant will not be campaigning. It is not just. And Dean, with respect, I disagree with you on that. Whoever wins or whoever will come amongst the 5 would have the bargaining chip or the bargaining right to go out there and speak to the larger delegates. So it is not just. Again, besides the point, the percentage you emerge with will send a signal, a clear signal to the delegates.
You had the Member of Parliament for Nsawam Adweju, Frank Anodompre.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the central bank has done no wrong in its decision to construct a new head office as announced recently. The bank says the current office is not fit for purpose compared to other West African countries. Addressing a press conference a while ago, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the central bank has breached no procurement laws in its bid to build a new head office.
Let me also seize this opportunity to talk about an issue that has come up lately in the media and one which borders on our new head office building. While discussions on the national security issue, like the central bank building, is a sensitive one, I will provide you with a brief history of how this has evolved over the years. The Bank of Ghana, as far back as the 1990s, began the search for a suitable and secured land for a head office. In 2012, the bank was allocated an unnumbered 5.19-acre land at Accra Central by the Lands Commission, which also had issues. The bank did not have access to the land, since the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration refused to give the bank vacant possession on the grounds that they had never agreed to give up ownership of the land. The bank continued to search for suitable land for its head office throughout the period from 2013 to 2016. More recently, in 2018, the bank approached the State Insurance Corporation to acquire its vacant land at Ridge, near the Ridge Hospital. The government issued an executive instrument to allow the Bank of Ghana to acquire that land, and SIC was duly compensated. The bank then began to plan the building of its new head office, taking into consideration the need to ensure that the building meets all the requirements of a modern central bank of international standards, similar to central bank head office buildings in Abuja and Dakar, and includes provision for data centers, currency processing centers, vaults, and other sensitive installations. It is not just a simple, ordinary building. Let me re-emphasize that the bank followed all the necessary public procurement processes in this endeavor. No procurement laws were broken. I have requested that a more detailed response to the issues raised in the public discourse on the bank's new head office be published on our website immediately after this press engagement today. The decision to commence construction was taken as far back as 2019, when the bank generated profits. Appropriations for the head office were made each year from profits made in 2019, 2020, and 2021. The project has therefore been going on for over 3 years. The DDEP only took place in January 2023. If we were to be taking the decision today, building a legacy head office would not have been a priority. However, this is a project that has been running for 3 years and about 50% complete. The bank is fully aware of its responsibilities to ensure that the costs do not escalate beyond reasonable levels, and that many of the original design features, including the data center, the currency processing center, ICT equipment, and specialized security features will have been deferred, and only gray boxes provided for future use to manage costs. Let me end by reassuring the public on the policy solvency of Bank of Ghana to achieve its going forward. Every central bank's credibility depends on its ability to achieve its mandate. These technical losses do not jeopardize that ability and are sometimes the price to pay for achieving those aims. It is important that we place the central bank's policy mandate above profits. We must recognize the special character of central banks and the role that they play in an economy. Central banks are institutions of policy, public policy, and do not exist for profits, but national welfare, and as such, could have a negative equity position and continue to be policy effective. Very clear policies have been put in place to return to positive equity in the medium term. And as we do this, we will continue to rebuild our policy buffers to continue to provide the necessary assurance of policy support as we build a stronger and a more resilient and inclusive economy post-pandemic. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ernest Addison is the governor of the Bank of Ghana.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, Ghana's biggest trade fair. This is Ghana exhibition organized by Citi FM and Citi TV, set to come off this weekend, August 26 and 27. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Jehovah, you say it. I trust you.
Ultimate Charismatic Center presents Apostolic and Prophetic Invasion with Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, and your host, Prophet Akwesi Ajimai Prempe. Date 20th August to 3rd September. Morning sessions start at 9 a.m. Evening sessions start at 6 p.m. Venue, Ohima Plaza, East Legon. For more information, call 0207 053 165 or visit www.prophetprempe.org. Ultimate Charismatic Center, Arena of Prophecy, Center of Manifestations.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the youth of Jomoro today poured onto the streets of Halfasini to protest the alleged decommissioning of the Osafo power barge. The power barge, according to them, has been dismantled into scraps without following the due process. Ebenezer Adi Nyamike is convener of the demonstrators and has been speaking to Citi News.
The youth of Jomoro are very pleased this morning because of an illegitimate and illegal dismantle of the power barge. The power barge that was procured under J.J. Rawlings administration to supplement the power outages in Ghana. Okay, that power barge has been dismantled into scrap, and so therefore the youth have decided to take the street today. What are you intending to achieve? Well, we are seeking justice for the illegal decommission because when there's a sale, okay, when you want to dispose something that belongs to the government, it has to go through a process. And that process, you have them come from the court. And there was a court ruling to that effect, a one-page court ruling from the district court. And the person who was given the mandate to, dismantle the power barge, submitted a letter with the heading, expression of interest to decommission the power of Sadipo power barge. That particular letter was not granted by the TMPC, who are the bona fide owners.
Ebenezer Adinyamike is convener for Youth of Jomoro.
186 people died from road crashes in July this year alone. This is according to a report by the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service. It also indicated that a total of 1,223 road crashes were reported within the period. These road crashes involved 2,099 vehicles. The report further highlighted that a total of 8,137 road traffic crashes were reported from January to July this year. These crashes involved 13,862 vehicles of all categories. Out of the over 1,000 crashes reported in the month of July, 54% of them were minors, while 33% severe and 13% fatal crashes. Similarly, the road traffic crashes reported from January to July this year had 54% being minor crashes, 33% being serious crashes, and the remaining 13 being fatal. The MTTD mentioned that there has been a general decline in pedestrian knockdowns.
Now, one person died on the spot while another sustained injury after members of the Takwa branch of the Church of Pentecost were involved in a road crash at Gomwa Otsun on the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway in the central region. According to the driver of the MAN diesel truck, one of the vehicles involved in the accident, upon reaching Gomwa Otsun, another vehicle made a wrongful overtaking and immediately forced its way ahead of him. To avoid hitting the rear of the reckless driver, he maneuvered and entered into a bush nearby, but unfortunately for him, the coastal bus, which was carrying over 22 members of the Church of Pentecost Takwa branch, hit the rear of the truck, resulting in the death of one person and injuries to other occupants.
The Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Seiduchum, has announced plans for a collaboration between his ministry and the Ghana National Fire Service to construct a primary school to nurture children who will become ambassadors for the fire service. He said this during the launch of the Fire Safety Educational Campaign 2023, themed 60 years of existence, fire safety, the choice for a safer environment. Speaking at the launch, the minister emphasized that the construction of this school will not only produce ambassadors, but also have a positive impact on the country as a whole.
Children who are growing up with this understanding and this knowledge, they are going to do their mathematics, they will do their chemistry and biology and everything, but they are going to also grow up to become ambassadors of your agency. So as a Minister for Education, this already has inspired me to partner you, and if you have land, we'll go to school. And not just for your children, but for all Ghanaian children. Why is it that the armed forces have experienced done? Partner, I'm willing to build our first primary school. So that your children and other children will have opportunity for quality education and will be well educated in the same way as this young lady. So in the end, her picture will be there at the school, and it will be an inspiration for her.
Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum is Minister for Education.
Now, the Ghana Football Association President Ket Okweku has faced the vetting committee today ahead of his bid to be re-elected. His challenger, George Afriyie, is scheduled to be vetted at 2 p.m. Speaking to Citi News, Ket Okweku reiterated his confidence in getting his mandate extended at the GFA elections in Tamale on September 27.
It's about the statutory provisions on your forms, whether indeed you sign the forms, whether you have met the statutory requirements on the form, i.e. the member who proposed you and the 5 required members who are needed to support your application. And then obviously you have to go through the integrity session, whether you've made your tax returns. So if you don't pay your tax, you are in trouble. And whether you've not made any false declaration whatsoever in relation to this opening. So I think that it was smooth. I'm very confident that given what I shared, I'll go through successfully, and then we'll be ready for the elections. Like I say all the time, football will always speak, and today football has spoken, and football will speak on the 27th of September.
You heard the GFA President Kurt Okreku. 11 football administrators, including former Black Stars head coach James Kwesi Appiah, Executive Council member Dr. Randy Abbey, and Hearts of Oaks board member Alhaji Moro Akambi, who are vying for 5 Premier League positions on the GFA Executive Council, are also expected to face the vetting committee today. Meanwhile, unopposed GFA Women's Executive Council representative aspirant Gifty Owari Mensah, along with GFA Vice President Mark Addo, spoke to Citi News after their vetting this morning.
Every election is difficult, so even when you are going on opposed, it's still difficult because without seeing them and they passing me, it means that I'm still not a candidate yet. So after they are grateful enough and they pass me, then it means that I'm a candidate and then the only candidate, which means I'm an ESCO member automatic, awaiting to be sworn in. So that's what I think. But it's exciting to see. But I believe maybe next year we can get more women representation, more women to come on board.
I always fight the battles in front of me, in the sense that the one in front of me now is go through this vetting and then prepare for elections on the 27th. And I believe, inshallah, everything will be fine. And I also wish all the contestants well and that everybody achieve the objective. And at the end of the day, it's a contest that it's a friendly contest in the sense all these people mean well. Everybody in their effort wants to help Ghana football. So for me, I see it as positive. What motivating factor is that it's mainly the president, in terms of his objectives and his vision for Ghana football, in terms of, I would say that he lives, breathes, eats, wakes up thinking football.
You heard Gifty Owari Mensah, who is GFA Women's Executive Council representative aspirant, and the GFA Vice President Mark Addo. They spoke after their vetting this morning.
Now, Ghana's biggest trade fair, this is Ghana Exhibition, organized by Citi FM and Citi TV, is set to come off this weekend. Hundreds of exhibitors are expected at the annual 2-day fair scheduled for Saturday, August 26 and Sunday, August 27. The exhibition will take place, which will take place at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, is an avenue for local, small and medium enterprises, startups, homegrown businesses, innovations and indigenous corporate bodies to showcase their products and services to prospective buyers and investors. Let's hear from some exhibitors who spoke on Citi TV's Breakfast Daily Show today.
Look at how technology is moving faster. We are kind of, if we don't care, we'll miss the face-to-face touch of how we are able to get closer to the market. I think that this is one area that this is Ghana Fair is really, really good at, bringing products and people together in at one place. It's one of the innovative ways for people to also get to know more about it. Of course, I might have come across maybe his company or my company online or something, but this is a platform where people can really engage one-to-one. I mean, if you look at what we are offering, whether it's travel, whether it's study abroad, parents can come and talk to us and know about the schools we deal with, which countries they are in, whether it's travel. So that is
the personal touch.
The personal touch aspect of it, which is really, really, I feel is very good at this moment.
Call this one a number card.
Okay.
Yes, easily teaches place value in mathematics. Okay. So if I want to teach a child how to use, how to say maybe 1,000, 110, I have 1,000. So I show the child this is 1,000.
Okay.
And then if I add 100 to it, it becomes 1,100.
Okay.
And then if I add a 10 to it, then it becomes 1,110. So then it makes mathematics a lot easy for the child. For us, one of the most important things that's with the last year that we were, most people didn't know that we produce these things in Ghana. So it's a major platform for us to make the people, as he said, to create the human interface for people to come and experience that, oh, these things are actually produced right here in Ghana. So it gives us a good advantage to engage with people who come to the fair.
He had representatives of Selk International Travel and Tour and AMO program speaking ahead of Citi FM and Citi TV's This is Ghana exhibition. This is Ghana exhibition is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and sponsored by MTN, Nalo Solutions, Pan-African Savings and Loans, European Union, and SNV Ghana. For more inquiries on this, please, you can call the number 0205 973 973 to register. Let's just take the number again quickly, 0205 973 973.
Well, that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I'm Wilma Obobi-Sakoman, and I did this with
Caleb Kuda.
Many thanks for doing the listening. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Have a good afternoon.